Hi there, Sheila Birdsall here. I have been meaning to put this video out for a while. I offer a service called MetaCare, MetaCare, MetaCare. And people are like, oh, what the hell's that? What's she doing now? So I thought I'd just give you a brief overview. One of my talents and abilities as a metaphysical alchemist, if you prefer the term, a thaumaturge, if you know that word, is that I do really well clearing shock and trauma from people's forms at a distance. Okay? So I know that's a big leap for you people who don't believe that's possible and don't even know what I'm talking about, but stick with me. I have information. Trauma occurs, well, let me give you an example. We'll start with a hospital stay. Now, it would appear that bodies don't suffer because they're sedated during a surgical environment, which means that the being sort of leaves the awareness scene and the body's still there trying to report, which is the only job a body has, is to report its surroundings. In this case, with the surgery, it's trying to report the number of instruments used, the types of anesthetic, the sharpness of the instruments, the depth and variety of organs touched or skin opened or jute sewing, stitching required, the conversations in the room, the hardness of the table you're on. It's still reporting all of that, okay? It doesn't stop its sensorial awareness. It's the link between you and it that's severed by an anesthetic. So what happens after that is it's still trying to report all of that to you when you wake up and you're like, oh, I had surgery. I feel bad. I have shock. I'm in shock from the surgery. I'm overwhelmed with it. No. You just have a backlog of information that you were never familiar to while it was happening. Now you can go back and review all that, but chances are you won't, because you're inexperienced and no one's trained you. The likelihood of you getting it all is pretty slim. So what MetaCare does is it allows me to step into the breach where your body's reporting and you're absent from the scene, take the reports, remove the shock of the buildup of not being able to report, take in each piece of information at the cellular level, and ask to turn it to your advantage. Now, so what, right? So what? So what I do that? Well, what usually happens is, I can speak from my own experience because I've had people do this for me, and as I have people in the classes that I've taken that do it, after surgery, like organ removal, gallbladder, you get up and you walk within 15-20 minutes of being back in your recovery room. You're not dizzy, you're not sick, you don't feel bad, you're not in pain, you're not in horrible, overwhelmed with your mind and your emotions, and you're not carried away with fears, and those things are all addressed during a MetaCare session. I actually got up from my surgery and went downstairs to the hospital's green room and sat in the green room for the better part of 2 hours, not realizing that my nursing staff was totally freaked out because a recovery patient had got up, walked out, and left for 2 hours, and they had no idea where I was. Most people can't walk that far or be upright that long after surgery like that. So while it does not cure you, it does give your body a leg up on recovery. And that is true whether you have surgery, whether you've been in a car accident, whether you've had a traumatic blow from you've been in a fight, you've been hit with a ball in a game accident, whether you've been beat up by somebody in an alley. All of those things are traumas. And the first one is always birth trauma, but we'll do that another time. That leave you less than capable of honoring what your body's trying to tell you as a report from its senses. And when that happens, things slow down because a significant part of your energy continues to remain in the reporting of the incident, which could be used for healing, fighting infection, reducing pain and inflammation, because the report is the pain and the inflammation. When you don't get it, your body turns up the intensity. We've talked about this before. So, if this gives you some idea of how MetaCare helps you through a surgery, accident, injury, broken something, that's great. And in my next segment, I'll tell you how to know when you might need it. Okay? So that's all for now. Talk to you later. Sheila Birdsall. Bye.